They're fake. Everything's fake. It's weird. And so it's like, this is the clearest, like, fixed fight you're ever going to see. Look at this. That looks so fake.
What just happened?
He hit him with the left.
I know.
But watch it again. Let's watch it again. Look at this guy holding his hands up and watch. Watch this. He like literally shows him his chin.
And just goes like,
and he goes down. It's also nuts, right? Just the fact that he's willing to fight the two-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
A guy who's gigantic in his pride, built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
And you're going to stand, and he's a one-punch killer. And you're going to stand in front of that guy. And he avoided shots till the 6th round. He just started getting tired.
Well, when you're on a platform like Netflix that turns one-part episodes into a 6-part series, why would you think that part of their entertainment model is to have a 30-second fight? Why?
The online world has completely lost its mind over what just dropped during Joe Rogan's latest podcast episode. We're dealing with the Anthony Joshua-Jake Paul situation here, and if these allegations hold any water whatsoever, it's going to flip everything on its head about what we witnessed in that ring.
What I could have done better is a lot of things, 100%. In the fight game, you've seen the amazing fighters that have graced us over the last 100 years. And the expectations that we put on ourselves are immense, but I tried my best. Jake done well while it lasted, but if you remember what I said in the interview with Cameron is, fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you is that, Jake, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna see a time when I'm gonna take your soul and you're either going to give up or you're going to get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter. So I wish that I could have knocked him out at the start. But as we saw tonight, Jake...
So word is spreading like wildfire that Anthony Joshua dropped this bombshell about Jake Paul, supposedly approaching him with some kind of financial arrangement before their bout. And apparently there was this one demand attached that absolutely nobody predicted.
It's the way he did it that I was trying to tell people. I'm like, no. That was skillful. So like there's like boxing matches where you see two guys just slugging it out. One guy lands a punch and he landed a good punch. What Jake did is he slid back and landed a punch.
Yeah.
It's like the athleticism along with the intelligence, the technique. I'm like, he's not even doing it that long. And he's also hyper competitive, even though he's wealthy. Yeah. You know, like you would assume that wealth would take away your drive for competition.
It hasn't,
He's also nuts, right? Just the fact that he's willing to fight the two-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
A guy who's gigantic in his pride, built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
And you're going to stand, and he's a one-punch killer. And you're going to stand in front of that guy, and he avoided shots till this.
This whole thing allegedly went down away from the cameras. And now fight fans across the globe are seriously doubting whether influencer boxing has any real competitive integrity left. Here we go again with Joshua stirring up these persistent rumors that Jake Paul's most publicized battles might be elaborate business transactions dressed up as legitimate athletic competition.
Jake Paul posted on Twitter after the fight, jaw broken, heart and balls intact. That's a good thing. Time to rest, recover, and return to cruiserweight. I mean, he's coming out of it as if, well, yeah, I got battered in the end, but boy.
That's what he will do. I mean, it depends what you think this was. I mean, I never felt it was anything other than entertainment. I'm not surprised that it, I mean, Anthony Joshua could have knocked Jake Paul out anytime he wanted to. He didn't want to.
So why didn't he?
Because, well, when you're on a platform like Netflix that turns one-part episodes into a 6-part series, why would you think that part of their entertainment model is to have a 30-second fight? Why? You watch a Netflix series, you can watch it and you can go, well, I get the gist of it. Why have you got to turn it into 10 episodes? Because I'm dying with boredom after episode.
Are you telling me that Netflix probably emphasized, listen, guys?
The entire combat sports community is stuck wrestling with this deeply troubling reality check that's been lurking in everyone's minds. Are we actually witnessing real fights or just premium entertainment disguised as athletic competition?
Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this contest. And then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt again. He was fighting. He's got to go forward. So now he's clenched him. Now he's dropping down to his knees. He's going below the waist. He's getting a double leg position. Jake was fighting for his survival. You could see that this animal who's been caged and is just trying to make it through. It was incredible. And any boxer that wants to say, well, that wasn't high level boxing, go ahead. I won't argue with you. But any human that says that wasn't a fight, yeah, it was a fight.
Joe Rogan never pulls his punches when it's time to speak truth to power, does he? Instead of throwing around direct accusations that might land him in court, Rogan spent considerable time openly doubting whether this entire showdown made any competitive sense whatsoever. His analysis was pretty devastating.
Yeah. In awe of the fact that you do what you do. I mean, it's not that hard to get your ass beat. I won 2 rounds and then I got dropped. But it was a great experience. Like, I learned a lot in there. But I had him wobbled at one point. He hit you in the face, and not only did you not get knocked out, you dropped and said, wow. Wow, that was nice. I was on the ground. I was like, that was a good shot. Did he surprise you with his power? He surprised my jaw. It's literally snapped. It's like a baseball in there. But yeah, I mean, I told everyone, though, that I would do better than Francis and that Francis kind of got no chin.
He wouldn't stop emphasizing the ridiculous difference in professional experience, physical power, and boxing intelligence between a proven heavyweight champion with years of elite competition under his belt versus this internet celebrity who's still learning the fundamentals of the sport.
You know, for me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, you know, of the weight difference and, you know, Joshua is a former, you know, champion. And also, you know, he's current, he's active, you know, and this is going to be the first time that we see Paul, you know, fighting an active fighter. You know what I mean? We seen the Mike Tyson, that was all fun, that was cute, you know what I'm saying? It's fun and games and stuff, but now you're dealing with a real professional, you know, and so we'll see how it ends up you know, like I said, I think it's scripted, but, you know, we're going to see. At the end of the day, I just want everybody to have fun. I want them to enjoy themselves because we risk our lives for others' entertainment and just go home safely to be able to have memories and say we did a great job.
Here's where Rogan really drove his point home. He made it clear that if Joshua had walked into that fight genuinely trying to end things, as violently and efficiently as his abilities allow, we probably would have seen it wrap up in the opening rounds. Maybe even faster than that. Rogan also used this moment to expose how today's fight game gets completely warped by streaming money and these ridiculous paychecks that come with viral entertainment. Sometimes the financial motivation to drag out a fight and create a show becomes way more appealing than scoring a quick, devastating finish. The whole business side has transformed what the sport used to be about. This connects to a much larger shift happening throughout combat sports right now. Traditional competition is getting squeezed out by entertainment demands. Simon Jordan cranked up the heat on this already burning controversy by stating what plenty of observers were thinking, but nobody wanted to voice publicly. That Anthony Joshua possessed the ability to flatten Jake Paul whenever he felt like it during that entire fight, but made a conscious decision to hold back. Jordan broke down his theory pretty methodically. He claimed the bout needed to be extended to meet Netflix's business expectations rather than boxing's traditional competitive framework. According to his breakdown, Joshua's punching power, his decade of championship experience, and his ring timing were so completely superior to Paul's current abilities that ending it quickly in round 1 or 2 would have destroyed the entertainment value and killed the viewership numbers Netflix was banking on. Instead, this fight supposedly required multiple rounds, fake drama, and drawn-out suspense to justify Netflix's massive investment and the worldwide audience they were trying to hook. Jordan didn't provide any smoking gun evidence or insider details to support these theories, but his statements definitely matched what a lot of fans suspected all along. When major corporations and streaming platforms like Netflix start controlling combat sports, the show business aspect can slowly but surely override actual competitive integrity. It leaves everyone watching afterward wondering whether they just saw a real fight or an elaborate performance. Chael Sonnen delivered one of the most ruthless breakdowns of this entire situation, and he wasn't interested in being diplomatic about it. His exact words were, "This was not boxing, full stop." From Sonnen's viewpoint, as someone who truly understands elite-level competition, what people saw that evening contained all the surface-level appearance of legitimate professional boxing. The proper ring setup, regulation gloves, timed rounds, licensed officials, everything looked correct on the surface. But according to him, it was completely missing the core essence, the life or death nuisance, and the genuine risk that actually makes boxing a real sport. He made a compelling case that authentic boxing at the championship level revolves around genuine danger, constant pressure, and the ever-present possibility that one split-second mistake could end everything instantly. None of those crucial components existed in what he witnessed that night. Sonnen pointed out that the rhythm felt manufactured, the cautions seemed deliberate and calculated, and the entire atmosphere of the bout reminded him more of a choreographed exhibition you might see at a fundraising event, rather than two fighters genuinely trying to hurt each other. He carefully avoided making direct accusations about predetermined outcomes or scripted results, which would cross into serious legal territory, but his underlying message came through loud and clear to anyone listening closely. When world-class fighters clearly have the tools to finish a fight immediately, but repeatedly choose not to exercise that option, what you're watching stops being legitimate, athletic competition and becomes pure entertainment. Packaged to look like sport, his final assessment really drove the point home. That was not a boxing match. It was something completely different. Once everything was said and done, Anthony Joshua showed some unexpected candor when discussing how things went in there. He acknowledged that despite getting the knockout victory in the 6th round that everyone witnessed, he honestly didn't think it represented his peak performance, and he knew he was capable of much better than what he displayed. Joshua was pretty straightforward about needing to elevate his game because he had real problems early on connecting with clean punches consistently, and he wasn't able to trap Jake Paul as efficiently as most analysts and fans predicted he would, considering the enormous gap in their respective skill levels. He characterized it as a victory, but definitely not a masterpiece by his own professional standards, really stressing that he has significant improvements to make if he wants to reclaim championship status. It was surprisingly modest, considering he just knocked out one of the biggest names in combat sports today. Right here you can see Jake Paul's promotional brilliance in full display. The moment his highly publicized showdown with Anthony Joshua concluded, Jake Paul immediately pivoted away from discussing the defeat and started hyping his next target, aggressively challenging former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou, who happens to be one of the most terrifying knockout artists in all of combat sports. During a post-fight media session that was obviously pre-planned, Paul made it clear he's prepared to face the most dangerous competition available in combat sports, telegraphing a calculated transition from influencer boxing into mixed martial arts crossover territory, which is where the massive paydays are happening right now. This call-out wasn't random trash talk or wounded pride speaking, it was strategic marketing genius, using all the mainstream buzz from the Joshua fight to position himself as a credible challenge to one of MMA's most feared power hitters and keep his name trending in the news cycle. Fight fans on social media responded with this fascinating combination of genuine intrigue and serious doubt, wondering whether Paul could possibly survive Ngannou's elite-level striking skills and grappling background that he developed through years competing in the UFC octagon. But looking at this from Paul's business angle, and you really have to respect his understanding of the promotional game, this potential fight represents another perfect opportunity to control headlines for months, generate enormous pay-per-view revenue, and expand his brand deeper into mainstream combat sports culture. It's a continuation of his proven strategy of high-stakes, high-reward matchups that intentionally blur the boundaries between genuine competition and pure spectacle, keeping people engaged and spending money. Deontay Wilder absolutely unleashed when he gave his thoughts on the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul situation, describing it as one of the most puzzling and frankly ridiculous displays in recent boxing memory. Coming from someone with Wilder's championship pedigree, those words hit differently. Wilder couldn't hide his shock that a former heavyweight title holder like Joshua, someone who's competed against the very best fighters on the planet, would actually agree to fight a social media personality. He questioned both the sporting credibility of this matchup and what truly motivated Joshua to accept the fight originally. Sure, he recognized the obvious entertainment appeal and these incredible financial opportunities that nobody can pretend don't exist. But Wilder was crystal clear that from a pure professional boxing perspective, from someone who held world titles and battled killers throughout his entire career, this matchup felt fundamentally wrong and unnatural. He emphasized the massive difference in skill level, professional experience, and knockout ability between these two competitors. That gap is impossible to ignore when you really understand what elite boxing looks like. He also suggested, and this part really got everyone's attention, that Joshua's entire game plan and mindset might have been shaped by considerations that have nothing to do with sport itself. Things like media coverage, streaming platform demands, and business factors rather than pure athletic competition and proving who's the superior fighter. It's a brutal evaluation from someone who knows exactly what championship caliber boxing should look like.